All right, steps of an attack. So what do these hackers do to try and gain access to our information or take advantage of vulnerabilities of our assets? First thing you do is reconnaissance. Look for information. Collect as much information as possible about that individual or about that organization. After you're done, then you're going to start penetrating. You're going to start launching attacks, trying to take advantage of those vulnerabilities. And then you're going to modify the security settings of that organization or of that person. You're going to somehow compromise the system or use it so you can easily gain access to the information within there, possibly circulate it to others, and maybe paralyze or do denial of service, prevent them from being able to remove that access. So here we have a nice diagram. It shows 1, the person's probing for information. 2, we penetrate the defenses. We found a hole in the vulnerability in their systems. We modify a computer so we can take advantage of that computer and now use it. This is kind of how the target attack, from what I've read, has been done. It's actually been going on for about a year now. They actually infiltrated Target and put something in their network somewhere and started collecting all this information. So they triggered it to happen right around the busiest time of year, between Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? So then last, circulate to other systems, attack other systems, or giving access to outside of the organization's network. So how do we defend against it? Well, the basic way to do it is layer it, as I talked about, adding layers of security. By layering it, you're creating multiple fences or multiple barriers that the attacker has to go through in order to gain access to the information. So the harder it is for an individual to get there, the more likely they're going to give up and go on to an easier target, right? So kind of like people walking through parking lots, just trying doors on cars, right? If it's locked, they're going to go on to the next car. Hopefully it's unlocked. And if it is, they're the ones that get their information or their stuff stolen out of their car. But if they really wanted to, could they get into your car? If there was something they really needed or wanted there, yeah, it's easy. Break a window, right? Pick the lock. Somehow use a clothes hanger, unlock it. Okay? How many have used the clothes hanger and unlocked your car? Yeah. So it's pretty easy. But it's locked. That's one layer that you have to get through, and you're like, it's too hard. There's got to be easier targets out there. So obviously, a lesson learned, don't make yourself an easy target. Limiting access. So if you're responsible for that asset, limit who has access to it. Put it behind a locked door. Put it inside of a locked cabinet inside that locked door. Limit who you give the keys to. Don't just make keys and hang them out outside the door and say, here you go. It's all locked, but the key's hanging there for everyone to use it. Diversity. Use different things. Like, don't use all Microsoft products to secure your Microsoft Word document. Use some other types of systems. Use not CryptoLocker. It's I just can't remember now the name of the program. But use different products to encrypt. Don't just use Microsoft's software to encrypt it. Use something else. Diversify. Use different versions, different operating systems, different software. Obscurity. Hide it. Don't let it be out there in plain sight. Okay, we're going to talk about that. Security through obscurity. We're talking about those things. If it's not visible, they're not going to think about it. Like wireless networks. Right? Somebody's wireless network, your neighbor's wireless network is broadcasting saying, hey, I'm here, I'm open, connect to me. Well, all you have to do is hide that broadcast of the wireless name, but it's still there. You can still connect to it, but you have to know that it's there. But it's not broadcasting out for everyone to go, oh, look, there's something there. Let me connect to it. Hey, look, I got on your network. And then simplicity. Don't make it too complicated. Keep it simple. The more complicated it is, the more likely you're going to forget about something. The more likely you're going to have a hole left in there. So, layered approach. Can be useful in resisting a variety of different attacks. Okay, it's unlikely the attacker is going to try to break through all those different layers. Limiting access. Reduces the threat against it. Methods for limiting using technology. File permissions. Right? So right now, remember in the past lab that we just did, we set the permissions of that file so everyone can read and write? What would be a better way to do that? What would have been a better option to select? Only your user could read and write. Or let everyone only read it, but not write to it. Because if you can write to something, you have the ability to change it, right? So maybe just read the application, not read and write, because then they could essentially delete it. Then that's what we did, is we set it up so everyone could read and write. So now everyone on the computer could delete that application if they wanted to. So a better option would have been just read, or just read for yourself. So diversifying. Just because a breach on one security layer gets compromised, the whole system isn't compromised. So have a Cisco firewall, but a Windows server and a off-brand email system. So there's different types of things. Have the password. This is interesting in some places. The password for all of their networking equipment is the same. So the password for their firewall is password 12345. It's not that easy, but or like Apple Boat. And then the password for their switch is Apple Boat. The password for their router is Apple Boat. The password for their wireless is Apple Boat. The password for... So you're not diversifying there. So the idea is to use different passwords on different systems. So if they gain access and figure out what the password is on one system, they don't have access to everything else. How can you diversify things like passwords? Colton? You could use different passwords on different websites, right? So your Facebook password should be different from your YouTube password, which should be different from your LinkedIn password, or should be different from your Twitter password, right? So if you are right now thinking, oh, my Facebook, my Twitter, my Gmail, my LinkedIn passwords are all the same. All I have to do is figure out your password for one of those accounts, and now I have access to everything of yours. Diversify too with what email account do you use for the backup email account or the password recovery account, right? Because you can just go, oh, I forgot my password. Password recovery link. Type in your account name or email address, hit submit. Guess what? An email gets sent to that account. So if I have access to your email, I can now go and reset all your passwords for all your accounts because they all come to that one email account. Because that's your main email account. How can we diversify that? Yeah, create a different email account that you don't use ever, except for password recovery. So it's not well known, not used as an account name. It's used as a password recovery email or something. That might be an option. You could, well, some sites, yeah. A couple years ago, that was unheard of. But now it's becoming more popular, and we can have things do password recovery to your phone, phone number or so forth. But I can spoof your cell phone number. So if it's a text message, I'll get the text as well on my phone. Gosh darn it. There's always something, right? Obscurity. Hide it. So when you visit a website, everyone go to like ipchicken.com right now. Pull it up on a web page. ipchicken.com. What information did you just give up?
Too much.
Like what?
Your port number.
My port number, my IP address, so they know where I'm at. I'm in Southwest Wisconsin, specifically in Fenimore, Wisconsin. I gave up my browser. I'm running Mozilla on a Macintosh computer, an Intel version 10.9.1 Oh my gosh, I'm using Chrome web browser. Oh my gosh, did you guys give up all that information too? Yeah. This is what the websites see. This is what they collect about you when you visit their website. Did anybody look into that Netflix UK, being able to watch UK Netflix from US? No? In Chrome, you can install a little program called Hala, or Ola, however you want to pronounce it, Hola. You can install that little program in Chrome, and then you can add a script that will make your web browsing session right there in that web page look like you're coming from another country, from Sweden or Brazil or the UK. And then you go to Netflix and voila, log into Netflix and then go, oh, it looks like you're traveling, Aaron. Well, while you're traveling, in some countries, you can watch different content. So give it a shot. Try it out this weekend when you're out. Hola, exclamation mark. It's a little plugin you can add. Do some Google searching and figure out how to do it. Okay? It's fun. So, obscurity. Hide the stuff. Hide the software. Hide the version you're using. Go anonymous, right? Simplicity. The more complex we make it, the more difficult it is for you to understand, and the more difficult it is for you to troubleshoot, solve those problems. So if we make it simple but yet secure, we know that when we update patches and make changes, we're not going to forget about something. We're not going to forget, oh, that's right, there was that key we set outside the door under the rock. Yeah, we should probably put it somewhere else. We forgot about that when we changed everything. That's it.